Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Fandom Flux. I'm not doing that anymore. Podcast episode 109. I'm pretty sure. This is coming out on Halloween. I'm not a fan of Halloween, but whatever. We're doing a Halloween episode. Yay! Everybody look at the awesome orange fan that Zero did, that I am absolutely certain I'm going to put in the episode, and I'm not going to forget to do that. I'm also not going to forget the other thing that I was planning on doing. I hope you enjoyed the intro. You're welcome.
You're welcome for that orange fan.
Yeah. As usual, I am Casey, your host, and with me we have Zero.
Hello, everybody. Also, screw you, Casey. Oreos are delicious.
No, you're wrong. We have Guy.
Hello, everyone, and Jaffa cakes are still better.
Yeah, they are.
I don't believe you. I never will.
But they have orange in them. It's Halloween themed, kind of. Sort of. And coming back from his long, extended hiatus is Slicinus. He's still ill, so bear with him.
Hey, I'm back. And you're all wrong. Nutty bars are the best.
What the hell are nutty bars?
That's
Chocolate,
a good shout.
crunchy bars, things. They're pretty good.
Those are pretty
Those
good.
be anything like crunchies?
I don't know.
English people with your weird names for things. Crunchy.
Yeah.
I'm going to look up crunchies, so... Give me a second. Crunchy.
Also, you sounded more of like an old man than you did in a scary, spooky voice.
Old men are usually spooky.
True.
They're the ones that give all the exposition.
Yeah. There's a crunchy.
Look, countries, they're delicious.
I'm not a fan.
Really?
My mum loves them. I never liked them. Ironically enough, they're too crunchy for me.
Never.
So those the same things, Lisa?
No.
Okay.
Although that does look good.
That's okay.
Less crunch, more chocolate. Imagine that, but the crunchy part is in like layers, and there's like 6 of them, but they're thin.
Yeah, let me link you an image
Okay, so
of...
basically it's a chocolate-covered wafer kind of thing.
Yeah.
It looks like it.
The wafer
Here's
has actual taste to it, though.
Yeah.
Oh. Fair play.
It's layered, and it's actually really good.
Funnily enough, this is also Halloween themed because it's, sweets. Or candy, as you Yanks would call it. So, Halloween! Woo!
Ooh.
Shit. So what's everyone's plans for Halloween? Because this is recorded on Thursday, we're putting it out on Saturday, so what's the plan?
I've decided to stream the genocide run of Undertale at like 2 on Halloween, so...
Oh,
Sounds
cool.
fun.
Yeah, I'm gonna kill everything.
Yeah, that's pretty much what genocide means.
It does, yes.
Yeah, and I'm gonna kill all the characters I came to love during my Let's Play, so,
Why
It'd
would
be
you
great.
Why would you not do the genocide run first?
because it screws up your pacifist run if you do it first.
Does it?
Seriously?
Yeah, your ending, you get a different ending.
Well, yeah, that's why you start completely over when you do the pacifist run.
No, when you do the pacifist run after doing the genocide run, you get a different pacifist ending.
Oh,
Huh.
I never
Which kind of ruins it, because the game remembers that you killed everything first.
That's weird.
Does it do the opposite? Like, you get a different genocide ending if you
No.
save everyone first?
No.
No?
Yeah.
That's a little unfair.
That's
I
stupid.
suppose
Well,
it's the genocide one.
Well, because like there's one character in the game, you'd basically be doing what that one character did, because that one character saved everyone first, got bored of it, and then killed everyone, and kept doing it over and over and over again. You're basically living out that one character if you decide to go and kill everyone after saving them. So there's no real reason to change the ending.
Okay, I'll take your word for it. I don't know. Anyone else got plans for Halloween?
I'm sick, my mom's sick, my brother's sick, and my other brother has pink eye. So we're all inside.
Yeah, I guess you're not exactly in a trick-or-treat region anyway.
We
Out in the middle of nowhere.
can be. The nearby town is actually pretty good size for trick-or-treating.
You know what? I'm going to look up how you pronounce Samhain.
Samayan?
Because I'm pretty sure it's Samhain, but I've heard it pronounced Salmon or something.
I think it's Samayan, but I'm not really sure.
Okay, so it's pronounced... Oh, here we go. Pronunciation. Yeah, it's pronounced Samhain, because it's Irish. Go figure. Guy, what are your Halloween plans?
I don't really have any, to be honest. I haven't really been thinking about it very much. Oh God, I'm old. I don't think about Halloween. It's not a holiday anymore.
Yeah, kind of. Well, I've never been a fan of Halloween.
It was all right at one time when you could just go around getting lots of sweets without being embarrassed about it. But
that didn't happen for me.
Yeah.
It was quite a while before my parents decided, okay, it's fine for him to go out trick-or-treating on Halloween. And the one year that I did it, it was with my sister and some of her friends to chaperone us because I have shitty eyesight and stuff and people are worried about me. So the one year that I did it, some shithead in a Scream mask decided, he was like 15 or 16 must have been, decided to run up and nick my trick-or-treating bag. I cried for hours. So yeah, I never really enjoyed Halloween, ever.
Right.
What an asshole.
Yeah, kind of. So yeah. Not a fan of Halloween. My plans basically boil down to... Well, my neighbors have kids, so I'm probably going to get someone knocking on at some point. So I need to have something stocked up.
No, there's no way I'm buying sweets and then giving it away. I'll just turn off the lights and hide in my bedroom.
Get some of those Jaffa cakes you love so much.
No,
those aren't sweets, and you can't hand those out individually. What the fuck's wrong with you? I'm just going to get some of Heroes.
Myself. I'm not giving them to any kids just because.
Well, that's the thing. You buy a tub of like Heroes or Celebrations or whatever. You hand those out, and whatever's left is yours. Fucking enjoy and shit.
Yeah, no,
you just... the leftovers. I want to eat the whole tin.
Wait until the day after Halloween and then buy all of the candy for super cheap.
Yeah,
that's true too.
A good idea. I like that idea. Giving it away. God, what do you think I am, Santa Claus?
We're going to skip those jokes if we're okay with that, gentlemen. Please, thank you. So I'm going to get very slightly into the spirit of things. I'm going to put on my Persona 4 jacket, pair of glasses, have a shave, and there's my costume. Pretty much done.
Nice.
Literally all I need to do.
Yeah, I work in an art room, so I have access to paint. So I bought a Jason mask and a plastic knife, and then I put a bloody handprint on the mask. So for $6, oh, and I have a black hoodie too. So for $6, I have a pretty great outfit, which I don't get to wear, which sucks.
That is kind of unfortunate.
I'm probably just gonna the first Spoopy mask and then wear that to the kids in the trick or treat after I'm done streaming, like I like to do.
So yeah, Halloween's a thing. As such, we have a Halloween episode planned, sort of. We came up with a couple things, I guess. But in the meantime, we have the usual topic, which is what we're doing. So what have we been doing? Let's go with Slicer. What have you been doing, Slicer? Have you been ill? Very ill?
I had a cold for about 2 or 3 weeks, and then I went to the doctor because I really could not stand living anymore. Existence was painful. And I was told that I was ignoring my illness so hard that I was a day or 2 away from getting pneumonia.
I once got pneumonia.
So, yeah.
Not fun.
Wow. Okay.
I actually got pneumonia twice. Still not fun.
Yeah. So that was great. Aside from that, everything else has been going pretty great. Schoolwork's, I'm keeping up with it, which is nice. A job, I've been told I'm the best employee they've ever had, and I'm starting to believe it because I have nothing to do anymore. I'm doing my job so well that there's no things to clean, no things to refill, no anything. So I just get to sit there watching the room and using my computer. It's kind of nice, actually. I also met a few new people at the fighting groups I go to, and one of them is essentially an older female version of me, which is weird.
Yeah, it sounds pretty weird. I wouldn't want to meet an older female version of you.
The thing is, she's a lot more open with sex, but we've decided that I'm the kinkier one. Which, yeah.
I could buy that.
Okay.
Yeah.
OTP?
Yeah. See, that's the thing. She reminds me too much of my own family for me to get any kind of reaction past, like, wow, she's kind of cute. So that's been weird.
It sounds weird. It's just... Alright.
Yeah. Great friend, though, but wow, weird. Yeah. And that's a... Oh, right. She also got me into Hearthstone, kind of, but I refuse to pay for cards, so I'm probably not going to be into it very long. And
that's the WoW one, right?
Yes, that is the WoW one, the Blizzard game.
Okay.
And because I'm essentially bedridden for quite a while, I got Diablo 3 and the expansion on my computer, as opposed to just on the Xbox. Been playing that. And isn't hardcore supposed to be hard?
I'm pretty sure... Do you mean hardcore as in, if you die, you die?
Yes.
Because that's all it means. It doesn't mean hard, it just means that's the rule that you abide by.
Oh, okay. Because there has yet to be an act boss that has lasted longer than literally a second. Everything dies. Just disintegrates. The sorceress is so overpowered.
That's a quote from something. I forget what it is. Oh, I wish I recognized that reference. Everything dies. What was that from? Shit. Damn it, I missed the follow-up on a joke. God damn.
Halo, maybe?
Everything dies?
I guess. But there's a rant, I guess, a character goes on in Halo 1 about the tank beating everything. That might be it. I'm not sure, though.
Okay, there was a song called Everything Dies, apparently.
Huh. Alright, then.
What's this song like? I'm curious now.
Screamo, probably.
Well, it's metal of some variety. No, this is grunge. Okay. Okay, this is grunge with a Danzig sounding motherfucker. It's sort of... Okay, I'm gonna have to link that in the fucking link dump. Because apparently I was lacking last week because I happened to be doing other shit at the same time. Thank you very much, whoever was commenting about that. Shitheads. But yeah, so... What were we talking about? Oh yeah, Slicer was talking about how everything dies in Diablo 3 easily. Yeah, all hardcore means is if you die, you die. That's it.
Oh, that's kind of disappointing. I want to bump up the difficulty because this is kind of boring.
Well, you could do that. I think hardcore is an option, not a difficulty. So.
Nope. I can, when I go over the difficulty raising setting, it says you can't raise the difficulty when playing a hardcore hero. Unfortunately.
Oh, well, you have to set it when you start the game. That's the thing.
Oh, well, I missed that thing. Oh, well. Yeah, that's essentially my several past weeks, actually.
Fair play.
Oh, and prescription medicine is fantastic.
Fair play. Okay, Zero. What have you done this week?
So, I wasn't on last week either, actually. So
oh yeah, what have you done in the past 2 weeks?
I recorded Flux Fight Night with Kenshi. As he previously narrated, I didn't exactly win.
Don't talk about it yet. He's still waiting for me to... Apparently, Adam is a manager to the channel, even though I'm pretty sure he is one.
No, I think you only added me in Slicer.
Did I?
Oh.
Oh. Okay, I'll sort that out then.
I don't suppose there was a reason to. Kenshi didn't seem interested in posting his own videos.
There was the reason to at the time. So we did a few games. We finally got around to recording Injustice on Monday. Well, the first time we recorded it, I was like, you're never going to see that recording, but I was doing really great. The second time, well, I'm not going to spoil anything. On top of that, I went and I bought Tales of Zestiria on Steam. I've never played a Tales of game before, so I thought I'd try it. And there's some very fun costumes you can get in that game, like just little costume things. I basically had one of my characters in sunglasses, and then he had like a mustache with a like pipe extending out for most of the game.
Nice.
Sunglasses and a pipe. Then I unlock things like an afro or a pompadour, and just even more ridiculous things. And people have been complaining about that game, saying, "Oh, you know, the plot is bland or the characters are bland." I like the characters, and I don't care how bland the plot is, because I can dress people up and make them look like complete weirdos. And that makes everything a lot more entertaining.
There he is. Okay. Ken is now manager of the channel, so yay for him.
Cool.
So, other than Tales of Zesty, I bought One Way Heroics as well.
Oh yeah, I played that a while ago. I was going to do a video of it.
It's really fun.
For a couple of runs, and then, you
win,
and then...
It was really fun for a while. And then I got to the point where it's like, okay, I think I've gone to the right enough.
Yeah, I know how this game works, and I have now finished the game. Yeah, I don't want to play this game anymore, was basically my conclusion.
Yeah. Still was fun for, like, several hours.
Yeah, I only played it for a couple of hours. I think I did 4 runs in total before I won the game.
Yeah, I did a very long run at one point. So I wanted to make sure I didn't miss anything. And kind of get the perfect ending, or as perfect as I could get it. So yeah, that's it. It plays like a mobile game, which
a little bit, yeah.
Those only have so much fun you can really get out of.
Not without paying, anyway.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a fee to pay element to the game.
No,
so
it's you unlock costumes and you unlock classes and everything.
But that's all by playing the game. So
yeah. And even then, those classes you unlock, they're not too much different that it warrants you to really play them.
Really, no.
I mean, fun for a little bit, but overstays its welcome.
Yeah.
Also, because it's like we're nearing the end. We're at the end of October, so my brother's birthday is coming up. Coincidentally, it's 2 days after Fallout 4 comes out. Now you'd think, oh, he mentioned that, so he must be getting Fallout 4 for his brother's birthday. No, screw that. I'm getting it for me.
Yeah.
All right. I can't blame you for that.
But my brother wants he wants an Xbox One because he wants to play Halo on it really badly. And before I had him like give me 3 reasons, give me a list, give me like 3 or 4 exclusive games that Xbox One has that you would actually play. He struggled. He's
Halo 4, Halo 5.
we have
Sunset Overdrive,
I
think it was
Xbox
called.
360 and a PS4.
Sunset Overdrive. What else is on Xbox One? In fairness, I don't have either, so I don't know the exclusives.
There's good exclusives coming out, but at the moment there's not a lot that he would actually play. So,
I've never really seen that as a selling point. It's all down to preference, mostly on the controller. If you find the controller,
Yeah, but if we have a PS4, and so we can get all of the games that are going to be on the Xbox anyways, then what would be the point of getting an Xbox One except for exclusives?
if you prefer the controller, that's what I'm saying. Like the PlayStation controllers hurt my hands; they're just too small.
Oh, Crackdown 3.
Is that out yet?
No, but it's exclusive. So, yay for them, I guess.
I guess.
Because Crackdown 2 was such a fucking winner.
Yeah.
Forza. Forza
was
Xbox
like,
One.
oh yeah, I'll get Forza on it. I'm like, okay. Forza and Halo
Gears
5.
of War 4. Halo Master Chief Collection. Wasn't Halo 4 on Xbox One exclusive?
360.
Oh. My mistake. Yeah, I am not seeing very many games that are worth looking at.
Exactly why I
Xbox
questioned his choice in getting an Xbox One when we already have a PS4.
There's Xbox Fitness.
Yeah. So, he is going to be getting bad. I'm going to help pay for it because I'm a nice brother. But I also decided, you know what? I'm going to be an even nicer brother. So I bought him an energy sword. But like, I bought him like a steel sword version of an energy sword. It's like $50, so it's like, sure. It's worth it. He's only going to get one present if I don't do it. That's kind of disappointing.
A little bit. Is your parents not going to get anything, or?
They're getting him the Xbox One. It's the because he wanted the special Master Chief Halo edition of it.
Dark Dreams Don't Die, the follow-up to Deadly Premonition.
Yeah, which would be
Sort
great
of.
if
Spiritual
my
successor.
brother actually knew about that series.
Dead Rising 3.
Again, that's one of the only reasons like I could think of other than Halo 5 or stuff that's not even out yet.
Halo Wars 2? Really? They're doing a sequel to that?
They're
Okay, fair enough.
It wasn't a bad game. It just wasn't very refined.
Killer Instinct. Magic the Gathering Duels of the Planeswalkers 2015.
Ew.
Yeah, I actually played it. It's boring.
I played it for a while, but only because my friends were playing it and I like to beat my friends at things.
No Time to Explain.
No Time to Explain is also on Steam.
Yeah.
And it's the remastered version, so it's better.
Rise, Son of Rome.
That was launch title, but I've heard decent things about it. Not a system seller, but not a bad library edition.
Okay. That was a group of words. Anyway, anything else, Zero?
What part of I am on prescription medication do you not understand?
Right.
So yeah, finished the Undertale LP. Last episode went out on Wednesday, and then the stream's on Saturday, 2 p.m. So if you started watching this episode when this is coming out, this
Saturday, 2 p.m. Zero's time, by the way. So that's actually 2 hours after this episode goes up. So
basically, once you finish this, you could just go jump right in.
Should probably link Zero's Twitch or whatever he's using.
Twitch, King of Zero X. I'll link it to you. Because I figured out that my recording software I use, OBS, that was originally made for streaming. So it's basically I just put in like a few things, and then instead of pushing start record, I just hit start streaming, and there we go. It's really easy.
I couldn't actually figure out how to record with that software. It was purely streaming.
Neither could I.
I'm gonna have to, like I said, Casey, I'm gonna see if I can guide you through it.
Yeah, we'll do a workshop on that. Okay.
Yeah, that's it. That's it for my week, as far as I can remember.
Guy, what's your week like?
It's been pretty boring, to be honest. I tried to read that With This Ring, the one you recommended the other. I couldn't get into that at all.
No?
It was. No, I pretty hated it, to be honest. It was too much continuity and lore in there. It was.
Oh.
I couldn't stand that.
You're breaking Casey's heart.
You did start from the beginning, right? Not like halfway through?
Yes, I started from the beginning. I know how books work.
Okay.
That's like Casey's favorite.
It's up there, yeah.
I'm also a board game maker. I've been playing around with that, trying to learning how to use that one. More soft building, making some stuff, and getting into game design a little bit.
Game Maker was what Toby Fox used to make Undertale, so there's a lot you can do with it.
Cool.
Yeah, to be honest, that's why I chose that one, actually, just after playing Undertale.
Yeah.
Oh. I really need to play that game.
It was alright.
God damn it.
What?
I don't want to play Undertale.
Well...
But no one will shut up about it.
Just give it a few months and then everyone will forget about it.
Anyway, anything else, Guy?
Yeah, pretty much it. Finished off the Worm series. That was alright.
I assume you meant Worm as in the written work and not Worms as in you played all the games, because that'd be weird.
No, the written work. Yeah.
Okay. So, what did you think of it?
It was probably about okay at the beginning. It was a bit slow getting started, but then in the middle it got really, really great, and then towards the end it just plunged straight off the cliff. And if I could reread the series, I would probably stop around about like three-quarters of the way through, and it would have been the perfect story.
Yeah, that's a pretty common opinion, actually. Yeah. I read basically the same analysis from someone on Space Battles, so...
That's true.
I didn't really like the end. It after the time skip, it just went downhill very quickly.
And apparently people are using it as a decent playground for writing their own stories, so that's pretty cool.
There are a lot of Worm crossovers.
Yeah, there are.
To be honest, I really have a lot of respect for the guy writing it. I mean, he writes a lot, and he writes it pretty well. But constant update, and he's got 2 of a series, but I can never keep up with that amount of updates. But so, I don't regret reading it at all. It was just one of those stories where the end it didn't redeem itself. It was a bit disappointing.
I'll be honest, I think Game of Thrones is going to go the same way, or the Song of Ice and Fire is probably going to go the same way.
Well, do you really think they're going to get book 6 and 7 out? I've got my doubts. They'll probably do the 6th one, but the 7th one...
Yeah, I'd put good money on them having the 6th book come out, but 7th book...
Maybe in 20 years' time.
Yeah, well, maybe... I suppose they tend to pass the authorship down through families, so I don't know, maybe his children or nieces or nephews, I don't know anything about his family life, maybe they'll take on the 7th book and they'll have to try and write creepy old man sex scenes. They can have fun with that.
That's disturbing.
Yeah.
And like 8 paragraphs on food. That was the most jarring thing about those books, by the way.
The attention to food?
It went on and on about the old medieval fashioned food. Very, yeah, it's very strange.
Yeah, there were lots of good stuff about the books as well. But,
yeah. A lot of food. Yeah. Also, really could have done without the stories of what the Mountain was like. He's a bad guy. I don't need to be told how he raped a woman and then paid her dad, and the dad is so piss scared of him that he thanks him for his custom. I didn't need to read that, thank you, Mr. Martin. I could have done without that.
Well, I don't know. Good story.
if you say so.
A pleasant little story, you know.
Yeah, a nice little anecdote.
That's a nice conclusion.
Well, no,
Man, do you guys remember that time when...
It's a pretty full story.
That's how they tell that story. That is the context of that. Hey, guys, you remember that time when the mountain raped that girl? We had so many drinks that night. Oh,
it's a full story. It has a beginning, a middle, a climax, and an end.
Oh, God.
Not that joke. We really could have done without that joke. But in fairness, it's black comedy and it's the Halloween episode.
I don't think that counts.
Okay, so right, it's my turn because I haven't gone yet. I guess. Guy, was there anything else?
No, that pretty much covers it.
Cool. My week, I got back into Skyrim, both narratively and ludoratively, or ludonatively. I'm not entirely sure what the Roman or Greek grammar would be for that to be an actual word.
You're writing?
Latin scholars, tell us, how would ludorative, or what would the word be? Because I'm curious. I think that could be an actual word. Anyway, what it means is I got into playing the game again a little bit. Mostly for the sake of writing, because I started writing the self-insert fic again. That was weird.
He had to write himself killing someone. He's freaking out about it. It's weird.
Not freaking out about it, but it's really disturbing, because you have to put yourself in a very strange headspace.
Is it, though?
Yeah. The non-sociopath, yes, it is.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So that was a little weird. Also weird was that I ended up sympathizing with, or rather, writing a sympathetic argument for the Stormcloaks, which is definitely not something I would normally do, but it just kind of happened. This is why I like organic writing styles, where you don't plan things ahead and you can just let the characters go. Because sometimes they go in amazing directions. That just makes it more fun. So yeah, I actually probably made the Stormcloak from the very beginning of the game one of the most sympathetic characters so far, myself included. So, you know, yay for that, I guess.
One thing I was like, there was never really a good option in Skyrim. They both had their downsides, really. I don't think any of them were really that sympathetic, to be honest.
Yeah, it's weird how they wrote that in Skyrim. Like, for anyone that's played the previous Elder Scroll games, the Empire has always been the big good, so to speak. Whereas, like, anything against the Empire is obviously bad. But as far as casual audiences who haven't played the series before would think, it'd be Rebels good, Empire bad, because Star Wars. And that's how deeply people think about narratives. Yeah, so it's very strange how they set it up, because the Rebels seem kind of like dumbasses and try and stick you with them even though you have absolutely nothing to do with them as far as you're concerned, because you don't even know who they are. Go figure. And then the Empire decide to kill you for no reason whatsoever. There is literally no record of you being there for the execution or anything like that, but fuck it, you're there, we'll kill you anyway.
Yeah, it was how many records are there altogether?
And then when you escape, and you have to try and get through the tower, not the tower, the keep, there's a torturer working for the Empire. I'd like to point out that there have been no other torturers as a profession in the series until this point, and past this point. Unless you count, like, creepy serial killer mages and stuff like that you come across as, you know, dungeon fodder. That's literally the only time you would see it, but you see one in gainful employment as a guy torturing people.
They are at war.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You wouldn't really brag about it, would you? They work behind the scenes, I guess.
Yeah, but you see a lot of behind the scenes in the previous games as well, and it never came up then, but it's coming up now for some reason. And it's like it's trying to force you away from the Empire's side a little bit. Which is very strange, but then they do exactly the same thing in the other direction. If you go to Stormcloak Central, I forget what Wind something.
Windhelm?
That'd be the one, thank you. And you go there, and fucking super racists giving this dark elf shit for no reason. And you're supposed to take the impression that, oh, all Stormcloaks are like this. They're all racist shitheads. Which actually bears out a little bit if you stick around in Stormcloak territory for long enough.
But isn't that they're essentially saying there's no good guy faction there? It's more realistic. Organizations really. They're all just good and bad.
They do a very good job making you hate everyone.
Yeah.
I feel like that generally every time I leave the house. So. Yeah.
Yeah. It's very odd how they handled that, but I don't know. I guess it's kind of effective, maybe. I mean, there's still arguments as to which one is better, the Empire or the Stormcloaks, and that baffles me. Still,
I think it's more of a lesser of two evils debate rather than who's actually better. Who's the least terrible?
Yeah, but then you think about it for like 5 seconds and you realize, big picture, it doesn't matter who's better. If the Empire loses against the Dominion, then everyone's fucked. So,
yeah,
they should probably just stick with being part of the Empire. Just saying.
Well, you can tell you're British, can't you? I'm sure the Americans would agree with that opinion.
I don't care enough about
at the time of the American Revolution, there was no other enemy to be dealt with.
Yeah, the problem here is it's a problem of priority. Like, if things fall apart, they're all screwed.
But,
I suppose there's an opportunity for a fan fiction in there. Maybe if there was a third faction, an actual good faction, beating the character actually forms a new one.
Yeah, almost like you could, try and build up your forces to take over the Empire as, say, a new line of Dragonborn Emperors or something like that. Might be interesting. Anyway. Wow, that was subtle.
I don't... Are you planning to do that, or do you know something that does that, or...
I've seen that done before, actually.
Oh.
Yeah, but the way my character would probably go about it would be, through the system, so to speak, while also probably killing the Emperor during the Dark Brotherhood quest, because that's apparently a thing you do. And my character knows that. So, aside from that, I didn't really do that much this week. I saw a couple of adorable little girls in matching outfits and witch hats on the bus today, and that was kind of cute. Poor innocent children, not realizing all their sweets are going to get stolen in 2 days. Yes, I'm bitter. Yeah, so that's pretty much my week as well. So I feel like there was something else, but it's escaped me. So, oh well. So, first topic is fear. We've talked about this last year, I'm pretty sure, but fuck it. Fear.
Fear. Yeah. So, fear is a very strong stimulus that a lot of people actually react very differently in tense situations or fearful or in scary situations. You obviously have, oh no, we're all gonna die, oh no, running around, hands flailing. And
Yeah, I don't think people actually do that.
Yeah, but
most of the time.
you kind of get the point of they just start freaking out or don't know what to do. You got the people who kind of just freeze and can't really do much. You've got and then you got people who will jump into action.
Yeah, basically, this is a common psychological thing called fight or flight instinct. And usually the people that freeze up are the ones that are stuck between the two extremes. They haven't quite... Their instincts haven't quite decided which way they want to go.
Yeah.
So they're just sort of stuck there, waiting for something to happen to tell them which way they want to go. Do they want to run away, or do they want to try and take on whatever's threatening them? And they need some further stimulus to tell them, okay, this is a situation... no. And alternatively, there's a situation, I don't have a choice, I have to do something, kind of thing.
Yeah. So, when you're writing a character who's scared, you have to really determine that, whether they're the type to lean heavily towards fight or flight. Other things to take into consideration when writing a character who's scared or in some sort of fear is kind of like the physical things that happen. Like, palms get sweaty. Sweat's a very, I feel, overused thing. Just sweat everywhere.
Break out in a cold sweat.
Yeah. And this shivering down the spine. There's gulping is actually like one that I feel should be used more. Of just
it should, but to me that's a very more visual and auditory thing that you'd need to see someone gulp. It doesn't come off well. It has
more effect in a visual medium, yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't quite come off as well if you try and write it down.
But,
then again, it depends how you can't just say, this character gulped, because that sounds ridiculous. Like, they swallowed thickly, maybe.
Swallowed
tends to come up better.
Is usually what I see a lot, but it's also, that usually only comes up when people are nervous, not so much scared.
Well, the symptoms that Zero happens to be describing are more towards the nervous end of the spectrum than scared or terrified.
But
terrified, you're well past these symptoms.
Terrified, you tend to be booking it. You just
or screaming your
head off.
Or both.
Yeah. You just make sure you don't write characters that everybody does is just scream.
Yeah, that's not interesting, and it's not realistic either. So it fails on both counts.
Yeah, I suppose it depends on the setting.
You've got some people who might, if there's a group of people, you got some people who might try to rally everybody and become a leader. You got some people who might go off their own because screw these guys, they're all going to get themselves killed. You've got some people...
Yeah, if X-Force is busy killing these guys, I might survive. The selfish kind of reaction to fear.
As well as there's different ways to cope with it, like telling jokes and trying to be funny to lighten the atmosphere, to cope with your own fear. So you can see kind of how all these things kind of form together the standard Scooby-Doo group of teenagers that might be stranded in the woods or something.
Speaking of groups, though, actually, if you have more than one person, just as likely as people are to scream, they also can get really quiet, and that can unnerve the people around them.
Let's see. I'm trying to think. But there's a reason why you often see a lot of the same type of tropey characters in these horror movies. The leader, the jokester, and whatnot. They all are pretty valid.
Well, the reason you see them all the time is just because the audience can relate to them instantly. They're just standard characters that the writer doesn't have to put much effort into them. It's
I'm gonna point to A Cabin in the Woods, where
The Cabin in the Woods.
What?
The
Cabin in the Woods. Yeah. A cabin, the cabin. It's just a word. But but in that they if you haven't seen the movie, spoilers, kind of been out for a while. The premise is that the horror movie and everything is all set up, and all these people were forced into these sort of archetypes in order to make it more interesting or something, or have them react.
They have to fit the ritual guidelines.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was kind of like, well, I suppose it's sort of like an inversion of the trope, really.
Yeah.
Or an expansion of it, or however you want to see it, but it's...
Wasn't Cabin in the Woods Joss Whedon?
Yeah,
I think it was. Yeah, so that might explain that. Yeah, he tends to like sort of basically stock characters, but with maybe snappier dialogue, and that's about the sum of what a Joss Whedon picture is. So
self-aware stock characters. Is that what I would describe it? Yeah, they're not. Yeah.
So yeah, people cope with fear in a lot of different ways. Can you guys think of any sort of? Telling jokes is the obvious one.
The confrontational type, where they'll sort of just pick fights with people for no reason because they don't know what else to do.
Yeah.
Funnily enough, I'm thinking of the Shaun of the Dead character here with that, but yeah, the Dylan Moran's character, you won't know who that is. The dark-haired guy with the glasses.
Oh, right,
that was in love with the love interest, died by getting pulled out of the window and his innards ripped out. Yeah, that guy. He spent most of the film starting shit with everyone, so...
Okay, that's weird that describing how somebody died in a horror movie is a better descriptor than their physical appearance.
The actual description, yeah. Well, that's the memorable bit, in fairness.
It is, yeah. I feel kind of bad for that, but, I mean, yeah, it's true.
I don't. But...
By the way, Dylan Moran, he's a funny guy. You should look up either Black Books, the TV show, or some of his stand-up, because he's funny. In fact, I'll put a link for some of it somewhere. I'll find something.
So you got your confrontational type, you got your leader type, fight, flight.
You got the pessimist.
Oh yeah, we're all gonna die.
Who just, we're all gonna die. What are you doing? There's no point in doing that because it's not going to stop them. They're going to come in here and they're going to kill us, etc., etc., etc.
Then you've got the turncoat, the guy that sides with the monsters, effectively, and just betrays everyone else.
That'd be an odd one. I don't think that one's that common.
It depends on the thing scaring them.
It happens pretty often, actually, when you think about it. How many people, humanity is our own worst enemy, so that sort of message.
Or maybe not turncoat. Or maybe not turncoat in the strict sense of joining the enemy, but turncoat as in I'm going to let.
If there's another side that can be defined as a human side, then they might turn to that side. But if it's an inhuman force like zombies or whatever, then
betrayal so far as I'm going to let these guys die so I can at least get away.
Yeah.
And then that person usually tends to die immediately afterwards.
Oh yeah.
Well, yeah, but
you can't let them get away from that because that's
too easy.
Karma or something. No, I'd prefer if they get away because then the other characters can get back at them later. Makes for more payoff in that sense.
That is true. It's much more satisfying that way.
If it's like Scary Movie, you're gonna have the optimist who doesn't even know what's going on.
That's not optimism, that's delusion.
It would be pretty funny, just the guy that, no monsters here, I'm just closing my eyes until they all go away. That's how I would react. Yeah, I'm just going to hide under this blanket until the zombies, they disappear. That's not my whole game plan.
In fairness, some of the leadership plans aren't exactly much better. Let's go and hide from the zombies in a pub.
Let's split up,
Yeah.
guys.
I'd just like to say Shaun of the Dead really is a good
It
film.
is, yeah.
I kind of want to watch it again. That's what I'm gonna. That's my fucking Halloween plan. I'm gonna watch all of the Cornetto trilogy. I'm gonna watch that.
Hot Fuzz is really good.
I haven't seen either Hot Fuzz or the third one. So
Yeah.
What's the third one?
At World's End, isn't it? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's a pretty good one, too.
Yeah. Not as good as the other two, in my opinion, but...
No, it's
yeah,
the
still
weaker of
pretty
the three,
good.
but...
Alright, I think we covered that topic.
now I also want a Cornetto. That's it. I'm gonna buy Cornettos and watch the Cornetto trilogy. That's my plan for Halloween.
What's a cornetto?
Oh,
I don't
Okay,
know
I'm pretty
what
sure I know what it is, I just don't know what the name attached to it. Right?
Okay, it's an ice cream that's in a cone, and it's got chunks of either chocolate and hazelnut in
yeah,
vanilla
I know
ice
what that
cream,
is.
or
Okay, yeah.
strawberry sauce and chocolate, or
Okay.
mint sauce and chocolate, I believe, and hazelnut.
Okay, yeah, I do know what that is,
don't
though.
they?
We do, yeah.
Upon looking at an image, yeah, I know what this is. Didn't know the name for it was Cornetto.
Same.
Cornetto. And now I have the Pavarotti thing stuck in my head.
Only Cornetto is also an instrument.
Just one cornetto, give
No,
it
it's a
to
cornet.
me.
No,
Shut up.
Anyways, yeah, next topic.
What? Oh yeah, we have other topics.
Ew.
I got distracted by cornettos. They're awesome. And better than Oreos, just as an aside.
Screw you.
Next topic is children. They are not as good as cornettos or Oreos.
Children are the most unsettling because of how innocent they are.
Children
They're not
aren't
as good as
innocent.
cornettos to eat? What are you
Yeah,
comparing
but like
to?
from the point of view
I know.
of these children, they're so young and so innocent that
No,
they're so
but they're
easily
not.
corrupted. Yeah, but that's the point of view that's taken in horror movies.
Children are the most mischievous buggers
They are.
ever.
They're garbage, but still.
So, who thinks anyone on this podcast has kids? Audience, please let us know in the comments. Actually, audience, how many of you actually have kids? I'm curious. Probably none, because I think most of our audience is teenagers. Scratch that. Probably a couple, because most of our audience is teenagers.
But
So
That would only be true if you're talking about an American audience.
in every horror
British
movie,
or West,
Oh.
every horror movie, the child is the one to say they're coming
What's happened?
or something like that.
Well, Guy just said what's happened and then dropped out of the call. Oh, he's back, I think. Guy?
Hello?
Anyways,
Guy?
I think he might be, actually, I don't know what happened to him. I think he's dead. Guys, he might be.
Sorry, I was playing Silly Bugs in the chat. I forgot that we were doing a podcast.
Yeah, we're doing that thing.
Yeah, I think Guy's internet has temporarily gone kaput, so we'll keep going without him for the time being. So what were you saying, Zero?
Children are super portrayed as innocent, so that means that they can connect with the spirits of the dead or something.
They call it shining.
Stop it. No. But, yeah, children are super creepy in horror movies. Because they're children. And they're tiny and they can run around. You don't know what to do.
Oh, God. No, they run around. No.
You climb on walls and make hissing noises. you know.
The fuck kind of children you been dealing?
I'm gonna remind you guys, Pet Cemetery had a pretty creepy child when I first saw that. Because the child was brought back from the dead or something.
Sorry, I lost
guy's back.
connection there.
Yeah, his internet died, it's fine. You were saying Pet Cemetery, I think it was.
Yeah. That one had a creepy child in it because it was like the whole Pet Cemetery deal was you could bury something in the Pet Cemetery. It would come back to life and it would be super evil. So they buried their son.
Yeah.
And their young little son because they didn't want him to die. They previously buried their cat. And their cat showed signs of being aggressive and evil. They're like...
Yeah, that was an awesome cat.
You mean regular cat behavior?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like, it'll be fine if we just, like, bury our kid there. And it wasn't. It really wasn't. They had to kill their own kid again. But, yeah. But children are just... There's something eerie about them, They're so little. They run around.
Gingers aren't the soulless ones. It's children.
Yeah, just all of them, yeah. What's the most evil animal?
Evil in what sense?
Evil.
Cats have got to be up there, I guess.
I think cats just don't give a fuck. I think that's their thing.
No,
they're not really evil.
I would say that's more snakes. Cats will slowly torture a mouse just to hear it scream and whimper. That's what cats will do. Cats are horrible creatures.
Cats are badass. In like the worst way possible. But
yeah.
Yeah.
I know there's animals that just like fuck with things just because. And murder them because. And
Dolphins.
It's not cats.
Basking shark.
Dolphins are pretty bad as well. You don't know how...
I'm saying basking shark. That's my choice.
Dolphins is a pretty good choice, though.
I remember there was a really evil animal in True Facts.
The duck?
No, the duck...
Look at this.
Stop bringing up the duck, okay?
Because I'm voting duck. Our Muscovy ducks were horrible.
Look at this basking shark.
Actually, ducks are kind of evil, if memory serves, because
ducks
the corkscrew
are super
penis.
evil. They don't care if you're dead.
If you don't know what a corkscrew penis might look like, I would imagine a penis that's shaped like a corkscrew. God damn that fucking joke! I can't get it out of my head. Are you kidding me? Yeah. Apparently they have to be very, very aggressive because the vagina happens to go like a corkscrew, but in the other direction. Now, if you can't imagine that, then imagine a corkscrew that goes in the other direction in the shape of a vagina. Anyway, yeah, so they're kind of evil like that and stuff.
You sound like you have a mental disorder. You actually cannot go without not saying that.
I know. That frog looks fucking evil. Sorry, I'm looking at the channel history, and True Facts about the frog has a fucking what's the word for video image that shows just the
thumbnail?
Thumbnail, thank you. The thumbnail is just a frog with this. It looks like it's making an evil grin. It looks kind of like a pumpkin face.
Tapeworms.
Tapeworms are fucking evil.
Well, you can say that about all parasites.
Yeah, that's just kind of what they do.
Yeah, honestly, I really, really try my best not to learn anything about parasites at all, or anything that can live inside the body.
Dingoes. Dingoes eat your baby.
No, they
don't.
don't.
Dingoes are fine. They're just big dogs.
Also, apparently you guys have one of those running your telephone service or something. He denies it, but it's true. Everyone knows it. That's a Last Week Tonight reference, ladies and gentlemen. Just thought I'd throw that out there.
I have not got caught up in that series.
Locusts are pretty bad.
No, I wouldn't say they're evil. They're just
they're destructive, yeah, but they're not.
They're just eating. I mean, it's not like...
You know, I've got to go for dolphins. I'm reading about 11
Oh yeah,
facts.
dolphins are super evil.
They will rape females. They will kill the children.
Dolphins are the evilest animals. I'm siding with that.
Yeah, they kill babies and they murder their own children to mate with their mothers. And they are the ultimate carnivores. I'm reading about the facts of them now.
Yeah.
Are they true facts?
I'll share you the link.
Dolphins are...
Enjoy the pictures on that one as well.
Thanks.
Unless you've seen a dolphin fuck its own dead sister, I'm gonna go with ducks. Because I've seen that. It's disgusting.
I'm not going to label this as true facts about the dolphin. I was considering it, but no.
So yeah, dolphins are pretty intelligent, and so that means they can be super evil. Apparently.
It's true.
Yeah, that's pretty much how it works. This guy's eyes. My god. Why would you make that your channel art?
To make it commentable, I guess. You commented on it.
It's creepy. Anyway. Also, I'm pretty sure I can see the reflection of his eye inside his eye.
That's weird.
Dolphins will masturbate with a beheaded fish.
Alright. You got me there.
I'll take your word for it and not look at pictures. Thank you.
You sure?
Very much.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Yeah.
Alright.
Next topic, shall we?
Yeah.
We were talking about children, but who cares? No one cares about children.
Suck.
Fuck children. Don't fuck children. But,
I almost said that, actually, and I didn't. So...
Yeah.
Next topic. Most disturbing horror thing we've seen. No one say the dolphin shit, okay?
Oh, by the way, Slicer, there was a video for that.
I'm sure there is.
Most disturbing horror thing. I know it's not scary, but when I was a kid, I watched Pet Sematary, and it gave me nightmares for a few weeks. And honestly, that's probably my only example of most disturbing. I mean, I could go into all the gore that's in a lot of movies nowadays, because they really do like to do gore. But
yeah,
like personally, Pet Sematary scared me when I was a kid. Also, Poltergeist is when the guy looks in the mirror, and then he starts. At the time, that was pretty terrifying. He starts tearing off his skin and everything, and
yeah, it's probably a weird thing to pick out, but Poltergeist 3, right at the very end, where apparently the ghost of whatever his name was has ascended to the point where he can control storms or something, and that's the cliffhanger ending. That was
so
weird.
So it's basically Ghost Storm.
It gave me nightmares. Yeah.
Oh no, it's raining.
Mm.
Yeah. Slicer?
I don't
What happens
really
to little
know.
girls when they get struck by lightning?
I've always been kind of disturbed by reflections and the possibility that they're moving when I'm not looking at them. And so,
okay.
What's it called? The Bloody Mary episode of Supernatural kind of bothered me. But that's about it.
Oh yeah, that was a good one. That was a good episode.
Yeah.
I somehow recall no one having watched Supernatural when we started this podcast, but I'm okay that everyone has now.
No,
I'm okay.
I'm pretty sure I had by the time we started.
Fair play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of the scariest horror film.
I don't like body horror.
The Human
really
Centipede.
Yeah, you've got those shock films that have sort of just started. Well, not just started, but have cropped up recently, like The Human Centipede or a Serbian film. I mean, it's not like they're a new thing. I mean, you could look up some of the films that Browse Held High has done, and yeah, that shit's horrifying too, trust me. But, you know, it feels like they get a lot more publicity nowadays.
Yeah, honestly, I've never really been that bothered about them. They don't really scare me. They're just too desensitized. I'm too numb now. I don't care enough. I'm trying to think of the actually really scary film. There's not that many of them.
I know Kenshi doesn't like ghosts because he can't punch them.
It is pretty hard to punch a ghost.
No, you just have to keep on trying, you know.
Yeah.
Even if you're just hitting mid-air a lot, you're bound to collide one eventually.
Kenshi doesn't like anything he can't fight.
She's basically saying Kenshi likes everything.
Basically. I've always found, like, just body horror just has always freaked me out alongside, like, I've never been scared of slashers, to be honest. It's just a person, you know?
Yeah. I mean, the Halloween films and what was the other one? Friday the 13th. Those never really bothered me.
Yeah.
Freddy Krueger, not so much either. But that one film that was kind of weird and out of place in the Halloween series, Halloween 3, where it had nothing to do with whatever the fuck his name was, Mike Myers or something?
Mm-hmm.
Michael Myers. It was more interesting because the whole thing wasn't about some random guy. It was about a businessman that was doing things that would kill a lot of children in horrifying ways. Yeah, memory says it was like masks that he was manufacturing, that when the kid put it on Halloween and watched this certain thing on the TV, his head would turn into snakes and insects.
Wow.
Inside the mask. And then they would sort of make their way out to where the family happens to be. These snakes and deadly insects.
You're making it sound better than it actually was.
It was pretty good. When it actually... Yeah, that was pretty much the last 5 minutes of the film when you find out this was actually what it was building to.
Oh.
And it was pretty good because they didn't stop it. There was no, heroic climax of the guy who was obviously the protagonist managing to stop this horrible thing from happening. No, it totally happened in the film. So that's how it ended. Yeah. Most of the children of the world died in a horrifying way.
I've always really disliked when something moves when you're not looking at it. Like, but when you look at it, just stay still and it's not moving. That sort of horror. Like, so Slender Man, like, is chasing after you. The Weeping Angels, not specifically them, but, like, 'cause I never really watched what they're from, but, like, that sort of concept implemented in games, like with mannequins or whatnot, freaks me out so much.
Yeah, I gotta admit, the fucking leg things from Silent Hill 2 were weird. They were sort of like mannequin things with 2 pairs of legs. It was very strange.
Like, when I don't know where something has gone, it just kind of really just freaks me out. Because it's just like, okay, where'd it go? So, yeah. I think we're good.
Yeah. By the way, that brings up something I wanted to mention. Paranoia.
Oh.
That's a very good aspect of fear.
Yeah. Paranoia. If everything's out to get me, and you might be one of them too. Even.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's...
a fun aspect to play with.
I would say that's probably...
Even after the scary situation's over, I mean, I'm probably going to be doing that in the Skyrim effect that I was talking about. There's going to be a shadow of a bird, and I'm going to freak the fuck out because I'm worried it's a dragon. Because...
It's appropriate.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the thing I'm probably going to have to do at some point. But, yeah, it's a fun thing to play with, it's paranoia. And a lot of the best horror games and films play into that, at least a little bit.
Because with paranoia, you have no guarantee that when it ends, it really does end. Because that one person who's paranoid might end up going back to society and still being paranoid and freaking out and attacking people.
I suppose that's the really scary end of all horror movies. It's not going to end. The guy's going to end up in the mental asylum for the rest of his life, just staring at a wall, thinking, "Is this going to come after me again?"
Yeah,
that's a really scary bit. Not what actually happens. It's going to haunt you.
That even if you do survive, then your life is ended anyway, because you're never going to be able to forget it and get over it.
So Isaac
okay, moving on.
Clarke then, basically.
Yeah.
I guess. Except that's not really a good example of horror. Just saying. So, question. We got a question from Neelan. He asked us whether the Metal Gear cardboard box thing is over and done with, or should be.
I'm not a big enough fan of Metal Gear to really know if it's too much. I don't think it is, but I'm also not really exposed to it as often as most people are that are into that.
I have only played 1, 2, and 5, so I haven't been exposed to it throughout the entire series, obviously. But I know in 5 I don't actually use it, ever, because it feels broken. So it feels like cheating when I use that, like I needed to rely on that because I'm shit at stealth otherwise. So...
yeah, it's a trope on its own now, isn't it? It became a classic Metal Gear thing.
Yeah.
It's a staple of the series, so you can't really get rid of it, but at the same time, it breaks the rest of the mechanics if you do use it somehow.
I mean, eventually the bad guys are just going, hey, let's shoot every box that we see just to make sure.
Or kick them, at least. Do something.
Might as well shoot them.
Yeah, but that wastes ammo. Ammo costs money.
Next is we have Zero apparently has a reading for us.
Okay.
I don't know what he's got to do.
This is actually really famous. I'm surprised you guys haven't heard of it. It's the creepypasta called Sonic EXE.
I gotta leave in 7 minutes, so can we do recommendations first?
Let's do Rex first. I'll read it, and then we can finish up.
Okay. Recommendations, Slicer, go.
Alright, I got Sci Effect by Captain Chrysalid. It's a XCOM Mass Effect crossover. Humanity is on the scene, basically, but they managed to remain hidden because they don't need the relays, because their technology branched off a different path. They were...
is that updated recently?
Yes, actually, it's updated every week or so.
Seriously? Wow, okay. That's really updated since the last time I checked. So...
It's, so they recruit a figurehead because everyone thinks they're Asari because of their body types. And she is possibly one of the most entertaining characters I've read in quite a while.
Yeah, she's an Asari mercenary, but, Asari tend to have a bit of a stint as mercenaries when they're young and idiots, like teenagers.
Pretty much,
essentially. So she's one of those type of mercenaries, not the hardcore kind, but the, hey, this is fun, guys, let's go shoot some guys and party,
She had a ship called the Party Boat, so, I mean, that should tell you all you need to know about her maturity levels, and it's great.
If memory serves, she's the sister of that scientist you keep running into in the games. Ranathanoptis, I think it is.
Yeah,
she's the scientist that you see at the end of the Vermine mission, and you can let her go or kill her, I think. And if you don't kill her, then she shows up again in the next game.
And then again...
It's her sister that is this OC that has become the figurehead of XCOM, basically.
Yeah, and unlike XCOM's second Encounter, I think it is. This incorporates Enemy Within, so it has all of the meld and the abilities and the mechs and stuff like that.
Second Contact.
It's the previous one that I had recommended, XCOM Mass Effect.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I recommended it too, and I can't remember what it was called.
Yeah, it's XCOM Second Contact.
Yep, so it is. Yeah. But I'll second this one again. It's still... It was a fun and well-developed story as far as a lot of the factions are concerned. Because everyone has an angle that they're trying to play. That's kind of cool.
Doesn't always work, but they are trying, which is the important part.
Yeah, it does a damn good job of giving most characters a goal that they're trying to achieve, which is kind of important for characters. And it's something a lot of fanfiction authors, at the very least, tend to forget. That the characters need to have agency, they need to be trying to work towards something, to have a reason to be in the story, kind of thing. And the story does a good job of that.
So yeah, that's my recommendations for the past few weeks.
Cool. Okay, anyone else got a recommendation?
I got nothing.
I got nothing.
Oh, makes me sad. Okay, my recommendation is Riptide by H.M. Master. Fans of the channel for a long time might recognize him as commentator Hokkaido Master, I believe. Might be mistaken. If I am, that's really bad foul up on my part, but I'm pretty sure it's him. So, it's a Young Justice Naruto crossover, except Naruto stuff doesn't really play into anything. Naruto, the character, gets teleported as a baby from Naruto canon, circa the QB attack, and gets teleported into Atlantis, about 14 years before the Young Justice team gets formed. And gets sort of raised by King Orin and whatever her name is. Queen, I forget her name.
Yeah, I can't remember either.
Yeah, and it spends a long time developing his personality and his relationships with other characters from Atlantis before it gets into any of the Young Justice stuff. Which, credit to the author for, because he does a decent job of it. It has only recently gotten into the Young Justice stuff, and...
Is it worth the wait?
There's one thing I don't like about it, but it's mostly because it's a thing I see a lot in Naruto fics that has somehow found its way into a Young Justice fic. Even outside of the Naruto universe, you cannot escape the exiled by the council trope. Yeah, so that happens in the story.
Wow.
Yeah. I wasn't too keen on that, and I don't know. It's not played terribly, but it feels like it happening 2 years before the Young Justice stuff starts. There's a bit of a gap where a lot of stuff could have happened. Oddly enough, it spends like 10 chapters setting up the Young Justice stuff and setting up Naruto's backstory. And then there's a good gap of a couple of years where nothing happens, and it feels like some stuff should have happened in that gap.
Like, it doesn't even happen off screen, it just doesn't happen?
No, he sort of gets exiled, and then it's years later. And he's been a superhero for a while, and has relationships with most of the characters that you'd recognize. Not all of them, but most of them. And we didn't get those established. We get his relationship to Orin and... Mira, that was it. That was the name. I just looked it up. We get his relationship to them, but they're almost never going to show up in the story as far as I'm aware. So, misused time as far as conservation of detail is concerned, maybe. But I don't know. It's pretty well written and definitely worth a look if you like Young Justice fics. And it's barely a Naruto fic. There are references to it, but that's about it.
So,
Yeah.
what does Naruto actually bring to the story then? Is this a Young Justice fic with effectively an OC character thrown in there, or is it worthwhile being tagged as a Naruto crossover?
There are elements of Naruto stuff brought in. Naruto is transported through universes via the Kyuubi's power, and some of that is left over, so the scientists from Atlantis were experimenting with that, and Ocean Master gets his hands on it. And, what's his name? Cobra. He manages to get the power of chakra, which is a problem, apparently.
Right, okay.
So, there are arguments to be made for it being worthwhile as Naruto. I mean, and there are references to character staples. He is a fan of, I think it's boiled wakame or something, which is about as close as you could get to noodles for Atlantis culture.
See, I like that.
I guess.
He didn't try to force the ramen, he found an equivalent. I like that.
Yeah, that's good, yeah. I don't know, I've always had a sore spot with stories that just put in Naruto as a cynical attempt to gain more views.
Yeah. Well, it's a story on space battle, so I'm not sure that would work quite so well on space battles as it might on fanfiction.net.
It's basically, why put in Naruto if Naruto's not gonna, like, if that franchise is not gonna have a big enough impact to actually make a story.
I think it works well enough.
Yeah, there's quite a lot that do. It's just the spot that there's so many that don't.
Yeah. Anyway, that's my recommendation. And no one else had any, so Zero, take it away, please.
Alright, so...
I will have to listen to this later. I gotta go. I'll see you guys later.
All right.
Okay.
I'll see you.
Bye then.
So Sonic EXE.
Is it Sonic EXE or Sonic.exe?
Sonic.exe.
Thank you.
This has been... It's pretty well known. I'm still surprised you guys haven't heard of this, but this is a real high-quality creepypasta.
Can't tell whether he's being sarcastic.
I'm a total Sonic the Hedgehog fan. Much like everyone else, I like the newer games, but I don't mind playing the classics. That was all one sentence, by the way. I don't think I've ever played glitchy or hacked games before, though I don't think I want to play any after the experience I had, ... It started on a nice summer afternoon. I was playing Sonic Unleashed. I liked how you got to explore the towns in it, until I noticed, out of my peripheral vision, that the mailman had arrived and put something in my mailbox as usual and left. I paused my game to go see what I got in the mail, ... The only thing in the mailbox was a CD case for computers and a note. I took it inside. I looked at the note first and realized it was from my dear friend Kyle, let's just call him that, whom I hadn't heard from in 2 weeks. I know that because I recognized his handwriting, though what was weird is how it looked. It looked badly written and scratchy and somewhat difficult to read, as if Kyle was having a hard time writing it down in a hurry. I recognized his handwriting even though it was not like his handwriting. This is what he wrote. Tom, I can't take it anymore. I have to get rid of this thing somehow before it was too late. And I was hoping you'd do it for me. I can't do it. He's after me. If you don't destroy the CD, he'll come after you too. He's too fast for me. That was all one sentence again. Please, Tom, destroy this godforsaken disc before he comes after you too. It's too late for me. Destroy the disc and you'll destroy him, but do it quick, otherwise he'll catch you. Don't even play the game, it's what he wants, just destroy it. Please, Kyle. Well, that was certainly weird. Even though Kyle is my best friend, and I haven't seen him in 2 weeks, I didn't do what he asked me. Of course. I didn't think that a simple gaming disc would do anything bad to him. After all, it's just a game, right? Boy, was I wrong about that, ellipsis. Anyway, I looked at the disc, and it looks like any ordinary computer CD-R disc, except it had a black marker on it written Sonic.exe, and it was much unlike Kyle's handwriting, meaning that he must have gotten it from someone else, like a pawn shop or eBay. Again, big sentence. When I saw Sonic on the writing of the CD, I was actually excited and wanted to play it since I'm a big Sonic fan, despite the fact you played Unleashed.
Nothing wrong with Unleashed. Shut up.
I went up to my room and turned on my computer and put the disc in and installed the game. When the title screen popped up, I noticed it was the first Sonic game. I was like, awesome! Because, like I said earlier, I like the classics. The first thing I noticed that was out of place was when I pressed start. There was a split second when I saw the title image turned into something much different. Something that I now consider horrifying before cutting to black. I remember what the image looked like in that split second before the game cut to black. The sky had darkened, the title emblem was rusted and ruined, the Sega 1991 was now instead Sega 666, and the water had turned red like blood, except it looked hyper-realistic.
So
but
the reaction.
Yeah. But the freakiest thing was in that split-second frame was Sonic. His eyes were pitch black and bleeding with two glowing red dots staring right at me, and his smile had stretched wider up to the edge of his face. I was rather disturbed about that image when I saw it, though I figured that it was just a glitch and forgot about it. After it cut to black, it stayed like that for about 10 seconds or so. And then another weird thing happened. The save file select from Sonic the Hedgehog 3 popped up, and I was like, WTF! What's this doing in the first Sonic game? Anyway, then I noticed something off. The background was the dark, cloudy sky of the Bad Stardust Speedway level from the Sonic CD, and there were only 3 save files. The music was that creepy Caverns of Winter music from Earthbound, only it was extended and seemed to have been in reverse. And the image of the save file where you see a preview of the level you're on is just red text for all 3 files. What freaked me out was the character select. It showed only Tails, Knuckles, and to my surprise, Dr. Robotnik! Now I was sure that something was up. I mean, how can you play as Robotnik in a classic Sonic game? For crying out loud?
Dun, 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 dun.
That's when I realized this wasn't a glitchy game, it was a hacked game. Yeah, it definitely looked hacked. It was really creepy, but as a smart gamer, I wasn't scared, or at least I tried not to be. I told myself that it was a hacked game, and there's nothing wrong with it. Anyways, shaking off the creeped out feeling, I picked File 1 and chose Tails, and when I selected and got started, there's a period after that, the game froze for about 5 seconds, and I heard a creepy, pixelated laughter that sounded an awful lot like the Kefka guy from Final Fantasy before cutting to black. Earthbound, Final Fantasy, this Sonic game has it all. The screen stayed black for about 10 seconds or more, then it showed the typical level title thing, except the simplistic shapes were different shades of red, and the text showed only Hill, Act 1. The screen faded in, and the level title vanished, revealing Tails in the Green Hill Zone from Sonic 1. The music was different, though. It sounded like a peaceful melody in reverse. Anyway, I started playing and had Tails start running like you would in any of the classic Sonic games. What was odd was that as Tails was running along the level, there was nothing but flat ground and a few trees for 5 minutes. That was when the peaceful music started to lower down into slow, deep tones very slowly as I kept going. I suddenly saw something and stopped to see what it was. It was one of the small animals lying dead on the ground bleeding. That was when the music started to slow down. Tails had a shocked and sad look on his face that I never saw him have before, so I had him move along, and he kept that worried look on his face. As he kept moving, I saw more dead animals as Tails moved past them, looking more and more worried as the music lowers, and he moves past more dead animals. Everywhere dead animals. I was shocked to see how they all died. They looked like somebody killed them in rather gruesome ways. A squirrel was hanged on a tree with what appeared to be his entrails hanging out. A bunny had all 4 of his limbs torn off, and a duck had his eyes gouged out and his throat slit. Well, good. Ducks suck. I felt sick to my stomach.
Corkscrew penises.
Yeah. I felt sick to my stomach when I saw this massacre, and apparently so did Tails. After a few more seconds, there was no more animals, and the music seemed to have stopped. I still kept Tails to continue. After a minute passed, after the music stopped, Tails was running up a hill, and then he stopped. It wasn't until I saw why. Sonic was there on the other side of the screen with his back against Tails with his eyes closed. Tails looked happy to see Sonic, but then his smile faltered, obviously noticing that Sonic wasn't responding to him, if not acting as if he was totally oblivious of Tails' presence. Tails walked slowly towards Sonic, and I noticed I wasn't even moving my keyboard to make him move, so this had to be a cutscene. Suddenly, I began to have a growing feel of dread as Tails walked closer to Sonic to get his attention. I felt that Tails was in danger. Something bad was going to happen to him. I heard faint static growing louder as Tails was but inches away from Sonic and stopped and stuck his hand out to touch him. The foreboding feeling in my gut was growing stronger, and I felt the urge to tell Tails to get away from Sonic as the static grew louder. Suddenly, in a split second, I saw Sonic's eyes open, and they were black with those red glowing dots, just like that tile image, though there wasn't a smile. When that happened, the screen turned black and the static sound was off. It stayed black for about 7 seconds, and the white text appeared forming a message saying, "Hello, do you want to play with me?" Now this is foreboding. At this point, I was creeped out. I didn't want to continue with the game, but my curiosity got the better of me when I was taken to a different level, with the level title saying, "Hide and Seek." So he's still playing. This time I was in the Angel Island Angel Island level from Sonic 3, and it looked like everything was on fire. Tails looked as though he was scared out of his wits this time. He actually looked at me and made frantic gestures to me as if he wanted to get out of the area he was in as fast as possible. I was starting to get freaked out by this. I mean, Tails was actually breaking the fourth wall, trying to tell me to get him out of there. So I pressed down the arrow key as hard as I could and made him run as fast as he could. A pixelated version of that creepy theme when you meet Shadow at the Ark as Robotnik from SA2 was playing, as I made Tails trek through the desolate forest, trying to help him escape from whatever he was trying to run from. Suddenly I heard that creepy laugh again, that awful Kefka laugh. Right after 10 seconds have passed as I helped Tails run through the forest, I started seeing flashes of Sonic popping everywhere on the screen, again with those black and red eyes. Music changed to that suspenseful, drowning jingle as I saw Sonic behind Tails, slowly gaining up on him, flying. Sonic wasn't running, he was actually flying. It looked similar to Metal Sonic's flying pose in CD and blah, 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 blah. He's getting chased. Yeah. Let's see if I can skip ahead a little bit.
Yeah, this is really fucking long.
Yeah. I thought it would... let's see. So basically, Tails... Sonic appears in front of Tails. Tails looks up in horror. And then, basically, Sonic lunges at Tails. Screen goes black and says, do you want to try again? Then he places Knuckles. Knuckles can't even hit Sonic. Sonic was actually driving us both crazy. And then Knuckles dies. And then, finally, I was brought back to the menu, and this time the second file had Knuckles on the TV screen. His red fur darkened to his gray, his dreadlocks were dripping with blood, his eyes were black and bleeding too, and he had a look of sadness on his face. I began to think those were the actual characters trapped in those TV screens on the save files, but I couldn't believe it. I didn't want to believe it. So I shut off the game and took a break. I took a nap, which I hadn't, because then I began to have the most disturbing nightmare. I was in pitch black darkness, though I was under the light given off by a lamp that hung high above my head. It's not pitch black darkness. I could hear the cries of Knuckles and Tails nearby. They were saying stuff like, "Help us," and "Why did you give us to him?" and "Run away before he gets you." And their cries died out as I heard Sonic laugh. His laugh, it sounded a lot like the distorted Kefka laugh. I get you don't like the Kefka laugh, but come on. Every single time. You're a lot of fun to play with, kid. Just like your friend Kyle, though he didn't last long. You can't run, kid. You're my world, just like the others. And then he plays as Robotnik, and then I heard that horrid Kefka laugh again, and the music slowly faded until it was quiet. As it did, the walls turned more dark red, and the torches were a black flame now. So, yeah. Suddenly, Sonic appears in front of Robotnik, and then red static lasted for about 15 seconds, and it showed me the most unpleasant image. The image showed a hyper-realistic of Sonic standing in the darkness. We're going to only see his face while his head and torso fading to black, and when I say hyper-realistic, I mean he looked so real you could actually see the lines in his blue fur, so you could actually feel the fur touch the screen. His face, oh god, he had the most horrifying smile I'd ever seen. And that's saying something considering I saw that image at the start of the game. His eyes are wide and black, once again crying blood, which also looked hyper-realistic. And there were 2 small glowing red dots in those black eyes staring right at me as if staring into my mind. Yeah, the image goes and then flashes off. Then the screen flickered with red sack again 3 times, and on the 3rd time I heard the Kefka laugh. Except this time it sounded distorted, demonic even, as if it wasn't evil enough, apparently. It went back to the image again, except this time there was a text again, though it messed up, and it was pretty much one of the most horrifying things I looked at since the game. I am God. It was when I read the message when I was looking at Sonic when it hit me. I realized right there and then this Sonic was a monster. He's an evil monster. I don't know. Sonic was a monster, a pure evil, sadistic, all-powerful, nightmarish, demented monster, and all of his victims, including Tails, Knuckles, Robotnik, and possibly Kyle, are just his little toys, and this game is a very gateway into his chaotic, nightmarish world, and the very hell his victims are trapped in. Let's see. Suddenly, in an actual split second, I screamed as Sonic lunged at the screen, screeching loudly, Five Nights at Freddy's, anyone, with his mouth wide open to an unnatural length, revealing nothing but a literally spiraling abyss of pure darkness where the red stag came again. This time much louder and distorted, so loud that it hurt my ears. I yelled and grabbed my ears as the red stag screeched for a good 7 seconds. We got a stopwatch, yeah. Okay. Yeah, Kefka laugh is ready for round 2, Tom. I looked at them, and I looked at Tails, Knuckles, Robotnik, and I cried a bit. The computer shut itself off. Couldn't turn it back no matter what I did. Sat there for maybe 25 seconds exactly. Horrified by what just happened. Sonic is the very embodiment of evil. Literally drags you to hell, blah, blah, blah. I can't get the game out of my computer. I think it's stuck there, but at least I'm going to turn it back on now. After I sat there for 25 seconds, I heard a voice right behind me, like a whisper. Try to keep this interesting for me, Tom. I turned around to see where the voice came from, and what I saw made me scream. Sitting on my bed, staring right at me, was a Sonic plushie, smiling with bloodstains under its eyes.
Oh, sorry, I forgot that.
Scary, right?
Terrifying.
That Sonic plushie. So Sonic lunged at the screen and then became a Sonic plushie.
Wow.
The scary Sonic plushie.
So, that's it? It's over?
Yeah.
Oh, thank God. Okay.
So, I want to say, if you want to write something that's hyper-realistic, look at this.
Yeah, just say hyper-realistic like 60 times. Also, Kefka, for some reason.
It's apparently the scariest sound you could possibly ever do. Is the Kefka laugh.
Okay, this episode's over. So I'd like to thank everybody for listening to Fandom Flux. Please donate on Patreon if you feel so inclined. We promise not to have Zero read any more of the fucking creepypastas because, my God, that was boring.
Frighteningly boring? Or just...
Yeah, it was frightening in a certain way. I felt like it might never end. And if you want to get in contact with us, you can do so through the YouTube channel, through the comments.
I think I did a good job of setting everyone up to be scared for Halloween, right? Right?
No.
Sure. You never know. He might offer to read it again.
Go back to the top. I'm a total Sonic the Hedgehog fan, much like everyone else. Don't make me.
Once again, I'd like to thank everyone for listening to the Fandom Flux Podcast episode 109. Bye now.